Well, the elite roster of the Pittsburgh Penguins ends up taking on the god-tier goaltending of the New York Rangers and the New York Rangers' deadly top six. It happens to be the Penguins' third line that carries the Penguins through this game, and this absolutely bananas flip of the script in the second period where the New York Rangers come out and tie the game, making it 4-4. We're going to talk all about Igor Shesterkin. We're going to talk about him being pulled for Georgiev. We're going to talk about Domingue. We're going to talk about the Penguins' third line. We're going to talk about it all. Penguins fans, Ranger fans, thanks for being here. You have made this channel super successful. We passed 5,200 subscribers. Big thank you to you. If you want to help share the love for this channel, give it a big thumbs up. Those thumbs up and subscribes help us. We'd love to have you here. Hey, if you want to go ahead and join our Discord and chat with me, go ahead and do it. And if you want to show us some massive love, we got an option called Super Tip. It is monetized. We take home 70% of it. We use the revenue to make great videos like this. Everything gets reinvested back into you. So we would appreciate it, but if you don't want to, you can't, or for any other reason, the free stuff goes a huge way. So those thumbs up, comments, subscribes, we couldn't do this without you. It's all about you guys. Thank you so much. Goal number one's a little bit of a controversy as the net was off, but man, the old guys can move, can't they, over there in Pittsburgh? I know it's the young new hotness here in New York, but take a look at this forecheck. The Carter line sends three. We call this the 3-2. It is very rare that you have three guys below the goal line forechecking like this, but what an amazing job. So first pressure, first man on. Jeff Carter is what we call your puck support at this time. He circles around to support it, and what you end up seeing is they're going to pinch him off behind the net. This is very risky because if it gets around to any of these three, you've got a 3-on-2 going the other way, but they force him to make a bad play around the boards, and this cough up due to the hit absolutely causes this goal. So yes, there's goalie controversy, but at the end of the day, look how low the Rangers are. This is not how low you want to go, but because you forecheck three, they sucker them all back. There is nobody up waiting. You end up pinching in on this puck. You keep the puck in the zone, and now you're causing confusion down low. That simple little wraparound ends up going behind the net, and as that puck goes behind the net, you'll see that New York takes the puck. New York takes the net off themselves, and that puck ends up going in. A couple challenges later, this is what we see from the top. There's no net push. There's no nothing. You cannot just lift your own net off the pegs or kick it off as a goal even incidentally and have it not count as a goal. This is a very interpretive play. It could have gone both ways. I always admit that this can go both ways, but you can take a look where the puck is, but look where his hand is. His hand actually lifts it off. That's tricky little guy there. This is a veteran move. I gotta say, it's a greaseball move. I fully endorse it. I would do this if I was playing. He ends up lifting the net off himself, and the puck ends up banking in off his knee and going in. Look, the net coming off has nothing to do on whether or not this puck would have gone in. Shesterkin didn't see it going in. That was kind of a cute little play there by Mr. Nemeth, but you know what? I think the refs got it right, but it did require a bit of a challenge. Rangers' goal is actually produced because they don't make the same error twice. Look, they actually end up staying up high. You always got to make sure you have a guy above the hash marks there. You don't want to have three down below like they did last time. So they're able to win that battle. And because they're able to win that battle due to good defensive side positioning, they end up springing and you have that 3-on-2. This is the 3-on-2 they could have had on the first Pittsburgh goal if they were in the proper position, but they got baited by a great Jeff Carter forecheck. Now, you guys have heard me talk about gap plenty of times in this channel. This is actually great gap by the Pittsburgh defenders. You want to be backing in on this one. So most of the examples I've been showing all of you, I've been saying stand them up at the blue line. You got to count here. This is a 3-on-2. So when it's a 3-on-2, it's all about containing and waiting for help from your two back checkers here. So backing in is what the defender wants to do. The other thing the defender wants to do, and that's our guy right here, is he wants to basically track from the dot all the way to the close side post. This is where he wants to be. So he's a little bit too far out here. That's the one issue I end up having with this. You actually have to have your defenders both bump out just a little bit in order to play that angle slightly better, because we all know Kappo Kakko is going to end up bumping that in. If they played a little bit wider, they might have had a chance. You definitely want to play and make sure everybody stays outside of this line between the dot and the post. You want to track your skates between the dot and this post and keep everybody to your left near the boards, even on a 3-on-2. You can see a few frames later, that puck ends up getting bumped out. So Pittsburgh gets hyper aggressive here with a 3-on-2. Again, not highly of what you want to do. Now your partner has to step up and be aggressive, and that leaves Kappo Kakko open over here. That's not where you want to be, and that's why this goal ends up going in. So the defenders don't actually play a great 3-on-2 here. Rangers exploit. That puck comes all the way across to Kappo's stick, And Domingue, look, not much chance here. It's going to go across the Royal Road. He gets set, but this is an elite goal scorer. I know he hasn't had the best start to his career, but you're second overall draft pick. You should be able to do this. Boom. Puts in an absolute snipe, and we talked about this. If Kappo Kakko and Alexandar Lafreniere, depending on how you want to say it, if they could step up huge for the Rangers, they could be the X factor. So it looks like maybe we had an X factor in play here. Jeff Carter ends up burying goal 2 on shot 5 at about 11:43 left in the period off the power play. Not much to break down there. Pretty standard power play by Pittsburgh. Not a bad job done by New York. I think it was a bit of a soft one that ended up leaking through Shesterkin, especially soft for Shesterkin. You guys will realize on this channel, Ranger fans, I'm very hard on goalies. This isn't just a you thing, like this isn't anybody thing. I'm really hard on goalies. I think a lot of people who haven't played goal, I haven't played goal, but as a goalie coach and as someone that has worked with goalies, I don't feel the need to just say, hey, I'm going to let you off. The team's got to help the goalie. I believe in all that. Like, that's important. But the goalie's playing an individual role within his net. And Shesterkin's job for this team is to stand on his head and stop these pucks. When I said it's Team Shesterkin, look, Shesterkin doesn't show up. Team almost falls apart. Now, the only reason, in my opinion, that they end up coming back and making this 4-4 is because of Domingue. If Jarry's in the net here, I don't think this swings into a 4-4 tie. So yes, you could say the Rangers team, look, he leaves the net. Georgiev ends up coming in. Everything's okay. We have a great team. It isn't just Team Shesterkin. Nah, no, not with a third string goalie in net. You should be able to score those 4 goals against the third string. This isn't like an elite third string stepping in or a high draft pick third string. This is just a guy. So Domingue, he's playing great. He's having his moment in the sun. But if Jarry's in the net here, he carries him through that second, even though it was a weak second for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Great second for the Rangers. I don't think this game ends up tied with the proper goalie in net. Here we have Rodrigues doing Rodrigues things. Look, this is actually a set play. When you put the puck off the wall here, you're looking to hit that flat side. Now, we can't see it on this side, but let's go to the opposite side. It's kind of by the Discover sign here. You're looking to hit that flat side where the curve of the ice or the curve of the board stops and it actually becomes straight. So you're looking for that in order to bounce a puck off the wall. This is something that players practice, this is coaches practice. This is a set play, a set tactic on a power play or on a 5-on-5. This is a really nice play by the Penguins. We see that quick wall bounce that ends up coming off. You got to love it. It hits off. It comes out in front of the net, right back onto his stick. So Rodrigues assists Rodrigues. If you could get 2 points for it, he ends up scoring. That's a tough one on Shesterkin. Look, I can't say that's the goalie's fault at anything. That's a terrible angle, terrible bounce. We talk about it all the time on the channel that if pucks come from below all the way up, that's one of the hardest saves for a goalie to make. The fact that it ends up happening off a bounce, wow, that is tough on Shesterkin. That's tough on the Rangers, but great job by Rodrigues. Brian Boyle finally doing something great here. Look, I got a love-hate relationship with Boyle here. Like on one side, I love the mucker and I love the toughness he brings. On the other side, sometimes he's an absolute plug, but he makes a brilliant back check here. And you can see that's just a stick swing. Like it stays in, no penalty done. All speed on Boyle's part here. Like the Rangers look like they're skating in sand at this point. You got to move that puck north. You got to know when there's footsteps behind you. Look at this turnover by the big man. The big man's able to muscle him out. And as he muscles him out, you're going to see Rodrigues open up. And I mean, you got to love when, you know, grunts like Boyle get to play with skill guys like Rodrigues. Rodrigues gets it into the slot and he ends Shesterkin's night right there. So there you go. 4 goals from the third line. And I know 2 of them were power plays, but it was still the third line guy, was it not? Will you give me this one? Hey, up to you, but you got to love when the depth ends up putting it in and it's not always Crosby and Malkin if you're a Pens fan. Pittsburgh does a good job here at the bottom of our screen, turning the puck over at their own blue line. The back check ends up coming in, getting on the right side of the puck. So things are going well here for Pittsburgh to start before the Vatrano goal. Big chop there, whap. Defender gets on the right side of the puck between Domingue and the offense. Zibaneja ends up moving it through. It goes offside and they're going to have to regroup. When you push back to your point here, for those of you that haven't played the game, we actually call this a regroup. So when it ends up moving back all the way back to your defenseman, you go D to D here and you're going to see Zibaneja curl around and you're going to have 2 wingers up here that are going to do a little J-hook. This is called a standard neutral zone regroup. This is practiced over and over and over again from the age of 12 on. Pittsburgh's job on the regroup is going to be to force and stop the D to D pass. Then they're going to need to back up here and they're going to want to play a 1-2-2 at the line. We see they do basically everything wrong. That is not how you want to run this. The puck ends up moving through 3 Penguins up to Zibaneja, so perfect regroup. It's exactly what you want when you can move pucks north to south that quickly. I mean, you had 2 outlets. You could have gone over to Adam Fox, and Fox could have booted up the wall here, but the quick outlet to Zibaneja up the middle, that's the right play, and you catch 1, 2, 3 Pittsburgh Penguins sleeping. I mean, I guess you're going for a change. This ain't the time to change, though. You need to get back on defense. Zibanejad's able to transition up ice, and because of that change, because of that bad regroup, it's a 3-on-2 here. Letang makes a really good skate back for the young defenseman that thinks skating back forwards is a bad way to go. It's not. This is a really good angle by Letang. I don't mind what Dumoulin's doing here either. This is a good angle, but you're going to see Vatrano has snuck through. Dumoulin's got a shoulder check here. You've got to leave this guy for your back checker. The first thing Dumoulin should be doing is busting hard back to the net, but he gets caught puck watching a little bit. So I like his position now, but he's not in a skating position to skate hard back to his net. Letang's doing all things right, and Vatrano's going to make him pay. And I mean, I could spend a lot of time on that. I could talk to you about what the Penguins should be doing on a 1-2-2 neutral zone forecheck. I can talk to you about how Dumoulin and how Letang can go back, how they can go ahead and correct that problem. I can talk to you about exactly what the Rangers did right there, everything, that neutral zone regroup. You don't end up going D to D. You go north to south to Zibanejad. You're not supposed to change in it. You create a 3-on-2. There are so many things we work on in practice there. The nuances of the game that you just saw in 20 seconds there, hey, that can take a lifetime to learn for some of these players. The work here done by Domingue is amazing. Take a look at this. Breadman doing Breadman things. Look at Pittsburgh just swarm back to him. That should have been a shot. Quick little puck fumble. That doesn't happen to Breadman often, but the puck ends up scooting out. Strome's going to bang it in, but no, Domingue is on the post. He makes a post-to-post kick save on that. Unbelievably difficult by Domingue. The puck is still loose. Pittsburgh's fumbling for it. Domingue makes a 3rd save here. Rebound is still sketchy. Comes out. How about a 4th save right there on Strome? Copp in the background looks like he wants to plug it in. He can't. My goodness, Domingue stands on his head for that one. Unfortunately, the Rangers corral the puck back to the point. It ends up on the Breadman stick. Domingue, he's tired. He ends up getting picked in the top shoulder. There's nothing you can do here if you're Domingue. Like, there's no one to blame here. This is just Panarin doing Panarin things. We tell goalies all the time when they go down into their butterfly, they're playing that hybrid style that you all see. At the end of the day, they only have about a puck size shot hole, as you could say, above their shoulder, especially with the size they are now. When you go down, if a player can pick that little corner for you, there's nothing you can do about it as a goalie. Talk to me about angles and everything, all you want. There's always going to be a slight hole between your ear and your shoulders. That's why we say shoot for the ear hole on the mask. That is just a shooter's shot. That's an elite sniper. That's one of the best in the league. So you stop 4. I mean, what more do you need? The Pittsburgh defense got to get that junk out of there. How many times have we seen these jump pucks cause turnovers? So Pittsburgh goes up. We're playing basketball, jump puck, big body ends up moving it through, causes confusion, and the Rangers are able to come out with it on a breakaway. Of course, Domingue makes the big save here. Guy's an all-star, elite #1 player of the universe. Unbelievable. He's unreal to make these saves. This is just great. He's having a career time right now, but unfortunately it pops up, and take a look at my former Winnipeg Jet, Andrew Copp, hand-eye. Hey, look, the net's off. The net's off. You can't put your own net off. So like for like, the game is tied. It's all fine. Andrew Copp ends up doing it. And look, I love the Penguins and I like the Rangers. I'm actually cheering for the Rangers as a Jets fan, because if the Rangers make it to round 3, we get a 1st round pick. That Andrew Copp pick, which is a 2nd, becomes a conditional 1st if the Rangers make it to the 3rd. So I got something emotionally invested in the Rangers making it deep. But hey, what a game by Pittsburgh. I love the black and yellow, and I love the Statue of Liberty team. So Pittsburgh goes to sleep there in their team defensive structure for the 2nd period. The New York Rangers wake up big time. Georgiev stands on his head in the 3rd period. So does Domingue in the 2nd period and in the 3rd period. I mean, he played out of his mind. So even though I said at the beginning of the video, if Jari's in, this probably doesn't happen, I still believe it because the teams play different in front of different goalies. So my mind won't change on that regardless of how good he played. It was excellent. Georgiev's in net playing awesome. He's one of the better, if not the best backup in the league right now. He's up there with Ranta. There's a lot of great backups in the NHL. Teams have stacked it up. This guy could be a future all-star in the NHL. We'll just have to see. But for now, he ends up coming into the net, and it's a floater that gets by him. I mean, he stones Crosby down low. Crosby had him all day, every day, best player in the world, stones him down low. Malkin has chances. Guentzel walks around guys with chances. Georgiev stands on his head and absolutely just is unbelievable. And if I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize. Watching the Canadian broadcast up here, I think they said his name like 4 different ways. So that was one of the ways I heard. Heinen with a little bit of a floater of a shot. So look, Georgiev is in perfect position here. He's got the entire net covered. He's waiting for a really good, you're going to be looking to shoot probably short side. Remember I told you about that puck-sized area? Well, it's right there. So that's where he thinks that puck's going to end up going. It doesn't though, as it's a floater. It's an absolute floater. It catches him off guard and ends up sneaking in the back of the net through his 5-hole. That is a tough one on a goalie who had a great night. Couple empty netters after that, and this series is tied. Pittsburgh takes the first one at home. I suspect New York is going to rebound next game. I think this is going to end up going 4-4. I thought the Rangers, based on what they did to the Penguins in the regular season here, were going to take this series in 5 or 6, but it looks like the elite roster of the Pittsburgh Penguins that we called out and noted before we're going in is definitely stepped up. So this is why you need that roster depth. This is why you got to check as many boxes as you can going in, because no matter what happens in the regular season, the playoffs is a whole different ballgame, right? Okay, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.